All right, so welcome back, guys. We're going to be getting on, this is the second video of getting the Enduro back on the road. If you guys remember in the last video, we rebuilt the carburetor and reinstalled it, flushed out the tank, cleaned the tank, got all the plastics back on, got the bike clean, got all the plastics back on, put these new tank plastics on. So today what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be moving on. Right now I'm going to be changing the oil, which it's been sitting for a long time, so it needs to be changed out. I'm going to be changing the oil. I'm also going to be changing the spark plug as well. Chances are the spark plug is probably fine, but it makes me feel better. I'm going to go ahead and replace it anyway. So the course of this video, we're going to be, like I said, changing the oil. I am still waiting on parts. Parts are on order, and I'm waiting for them to be delivered from CSC Motorcycles. I do need to replace the clutch cable, and the front brake master cylinder needs to be replaced as well. Those are parts I am waiting on. So what I'm going to do is hopefully by the end of this video, I mean, I've got some other things I want to do besides just replacing the parts. Hopefully by the end of this video, the bike will be back on the road, and I will be able to be putting it back in use. So I'm going to go ahead and get started on this, get started on changing the oil right now, and then we're going to move on to the spark plug. So let's get into it. All right, guys, so oil is drained. I gotta tell you guys, man, I can tell that oil's been sitting for a long time. It smells really bad. It looks really bad. I don't know if you guys can really see it on the camera too well, but it just it smells really bad. So it's a good thing I didn't try cranking this motor over with that oil in it. I just don't think I would have felt real safe about it. So anyway, oil is drained out, and I'm going to go ahead and replace the drain plug, and we're going to start filling it. Really not gonna film that whole process, because you guys know changing oil, it's a simple thing. What is nice about these CSC motorcycles though is that once you fill the oil in the cap, you don't have to keep pulling the cap out to check the dipstick. What CSC does is they actually have a little sight glass window right here on the side of the case where you can actually see your oil level, which is nice because there are marks on here as well that show you where to fill the oil up to. So anyway, oil is drained. I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to grab my funnel and my oil, I'm going to start filling it back up. So I'm going to get on that now. Alright guys, so the oil is officially replaced. I got that all done. I am going to go ahead now and I'm going to replace the spark plug. Like I said, I don't think this needs to be replaced, but I went ahead and bought the new one anyway. It's going to make me feel better to have it replaced, especially since it's been sitting forever. And anyway, just kind of makes me feel better. It's more of a peace of mind thing. So I'm going to go ahead and replace this spark plug now. I don't know, guys. So I just got this. This is the original spark plug out of this. So like I said, I'm the original owner on this bike. I bought it brand new. This bike only has a little over 500 miles on it. I put all the miles on it myself. So anyway, like I said, I wasn't sure if this spark plug needed to be replaced, but I don't know, guys. Kind of inspecting it now. Like I said, it's only got a little over 500 miles on it, and I don't know if you guys can see it. Check that out. So anyway, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and ditch that, and we're gonna go ahead and put this new one in. So it looks much better. Gonna go ahead and inspect it, of course, make sure it's the same. Everything's the same length. I have already checked the gap on this spark plug. It is exactly where it's supposed to be for the specifications for this motor. So yeah, everything looks good. So I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna drop this spark plug in now. And that's it. Spark plug is replaced. I'm gonna go ahead and just replace the wire, and that's it. We can go ahead and move on. Oil change is done, spark plug is replaced. Let's go ahead and move on to the next part of the project. Alright guys, so next thing I'm going to be doing is I am going to be wheeling the bike back into the workshop, but before I do that, like I said, it's been sitting for a long time, so this chain is definitely dried out. I'm actually going to be lubricating the chain, and I'm going to be using some spray. I'm actually going to be using some spray-on white lithium grease. I've used this for chains before. I actually really like using this stuff. So I'm going to, before I move it into the workshop, I wanted to do this now while I have the bike outside. because I don't want to be spraying this stuff inside the workshop. So I'm going to go ahead and get this chain all sprayed down with the lithium grease now, and then I'm going to move it back into the workshop from there so we can actually move on to replacing some other parts. So I'm going to go ahead and spray it now. So I sprayed the chain down with the lithium grease. What I'm actually going to do is I'm kind of just going to roll the bike around the yard a couple times, just to kind of move the chain around a little bit and get that moving. So and then after that, I'm just going to pull the bike in the workshop, and we're going to get going on everything else. All right, so I got the bike pulled back into the workshop. I'm going to kind of take a little kind of move off. Like I said, I just finished the chain lubing, getting the chain lubricated. Got the bike back moved back into the workshop. And like I said, I'm still waiting on parts. Parts are on order, but they haven't arrived yet. So I still got to do the clutch cable and the front brake master cylinder, but those aren't going to be here for probably a few days. So something I'm going to jump ahead. Well, not really jump ahead. I'm just going to kind of jump off topic for a minute with getting the bike back on the road. It is something for the bike, something that's going to be a little bit more convenient for me. Especially, it's more of a convenience thing, especially with how much I'm going to be using this bike. When I originally bought this bike, I'm going to show you now, on the back, and you probably saw the pictures, I used to have this bag. I used to carry a lot of stuff in this bag because, you know, it's better than wearing a backpack. It's better than having stuff tied down to the handlebars or whatever. Unfortunately, with being in storage and being exposed to elements, this bag one time was a very nice bag. I actually paid quite a bit for this. It worked very well, but with it being exposed to the elements and in storage, you guys can see it is completely rotted away, and it is absolutely just disgusting now, and it's a mess. And I am no way going to be using this or putting it back on the bike. So I'm going to go ahead and throw that out as much as I can. Kind of missed, but whatever. Throw that to the junk pile outside. So I actually was at what I'm going to be using to replace that, because I still want to be able to carry stuff on the back of the bike when I'm using it. Because I also do plan on using this bike when I go on explorations. And if you guys know, I do exploration. Some of my investigations, I do explorations, and some of them are kind of up in the hills. Can't really get a vehicle there. That's kind of also why I'm going to be using this bike a lot. So I do want to still be able to carry equipment with me and stuff, just other stuff, daily stuff with me when I'm using this bike. So I went into Harbor Freight the other day, and I actually found this. So this is one of their cases you can get from Harbor Freight. I actually paid about a little over $40 for this case. Actually a very nice case. I'm going to be honest, I actually use these cases from Harbor Freight. I have quite a few of these, and I use them to actually carry my ghost hunting equipment around. So these are actually really good cases, and this is what I'm going to use on the back of the bike to carry stuff. These are actually, like I said, these are very nice. They're hard cases. You can lock them. I'll open it up real quick and show you guys. They actually have the foam inside, which is actually really nice, especially if I'm going to be taking equipment around with me. Now, given I am going to be taking a lot of this foam out because I'm going to be using it on the bike for more like everyday stuff, you know, when traveling or riding around or just running everyday errands. So, but it's also going to be nice that it does have the foam, because I do plan on carrying some of my ghost hunting equipment in here when I take the bike out to do explorations, or I go do an investigation for somewhere where I'll be taking the bike. So, I'm going, like I said, I'm going to go a little off, kind of a little off plan with this video, because like I said, I'm waiting on parts to get the bike fixed and put it back on the road, but this is something I really want to do. I'm just going to do it right now. This is actually going to be a pretty simple job, and I'll show you why here in a minute. So yeah, like I said, I got that case for about a little over $40. I actually use those for hauling my equipment, my ghost hunting equipment around, so it's going to work out perfect on the back of the Enduro. So let's go ahead. I'm going to show you how we're going to do this, how we're going to get it mounted on there, and we're going to get into it. Right, so here we are at the back of the bike. This is where I had the original bag mounted. So with these CSC motorcycles, they actually come back here with with screws and pre-drilled holes and everything to actually mount something on the back, mount like a trunk. So this is going to make this project real simple. I'm just going to be drilling 4 holes. I'm going to measure them out and drill 4 holes onto the bottom of the case. that will mount right to these pre-drilled screws and mounting holes. Like I said, guys, real easy project. This is something that's going to be very convenient for me. It's something it's going to be way better than having a bag or even that old bag on there. So I'm going to get down to measuring out these holes, and I'm going to get this case mounted onto the back of the bike. Okay, so I have the original screws out. These are the screws I'm going to be using to mount the box on. So what I'm going to do now is I've got the foam out of the box. I'm going to go ahead and get these all measured out to fit in here, and then we're going to go ahead and mount this box. So I got the holes all measured out to mount on the back of the bike for the box. We're going to go ahead. I'm going to drill these holes out real quick, and we're going to get it mounted. Alright guys, so the box is just about done on the back of the bike. You can see I've got 2 of the screws in already. Just got to put the last 2 in, and then this project will be done. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get these last 2 screws in here, and then we're going to go ahead and stick the foam back in, and this project will be all over with. It'll be a nice little addition to the bike. So I'm going to get those 2 screws in now. Alright guys, that's it. So the screws are back in. We're going to go ahead and stick the foam back in and close this up and call this project done. Alright, here it is, guys. The box is all done. The foam is back in it. I'm only going to be using the one. Depending on, I have the other 2 left over here. These are the ones where you can actually, you can cut them out. So I might actually do some pre-cuts on these ones. So if I ever decide to carry certain equipment with me, I can stick these inserts in. But for now, just for regular everyday use, this one piece of foam is going to work nice. So this is it, guys. I mean, it came out pretty good. It's very solid on there. It's not coming off. It's going to work out real nice. So with that being done, we're going to go ahead and call this this project done. We'll see you guys back here in a minute. All right, guys, so we are back. If you guys remember last night, I finished off by getting this hard case mounted on the bike. I stopped working on the bike after that and kind of just called it a night. Like I said, I'm still waiting on parts for the bike. They should be here hopefully within the next day or 2. So I'm kind of just sitting and waiting now. But what we're going to do is I really want to see if we can get it to fire up. If you guys remember, the battery's been changed, the tank's been cleaned, carburetor's rebuilt, all the lines are cleaned. So the oil's been changed, did that yesterday. So what I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and wheel the bike outside the workshop, and I'm going to drop some gas in it, and we're just going to see if we can get it to fire up. So I think it's ready for that, and I really want to hear it run again. So let's get the bike wheeled outside, and let's see if we can get it to start. All right, guys, we got the bike outside. It's time to drop some gas in and see if we can get it to fire up. So this is going to be the first time this bike is I've attempted to start this bike in almost 3 years. So hopefully with all the work that's been done so far, we get some fresh gas in it. Hopefully we'll just turn the key and it'll fire right up. So I imagine it might blow some smoke at first. It might give me some trouble starting, I'd imagine. So anyway, let's get the gas in it and let's see if we can get it to start. All right, guys. So gas is in. I only put about a gallon in it just in case anything is wrong and I have to take everything off. I don't have to lose a bunch of gas or deal with a bunch of gas. So let's go ahead and turn the key, and I'll get it primed, and let's see if we can see if she'll come to life. So let's go ahead and try to start it. All right, guys, so she's running. That's definitely good news. I'm definitely happy about that. Obviously needs a little bit of work, some little fine tuning and adjustments. So I'm gonna go ahead and just get on doing that right now, and then we'll come back. Hopefully I can get it all tuned out and really get rev on it a couple times, and it'll be good. So I'm gonna go ahead and get all the little tuning down, get all the little adjustments done, and then we'll be back. I'll come back and check in with you, and we'll see how it's going. All right, guys, she seems to be running much better now. I sat here and adjusted the so one thing I'm going to do now that the bike is running, time to kind of get down to some of the paperwork part. So like I said, when my accident happened, I was currently using this bike. It was registered. I was driving it on the road, but unfortunately the tags ended up expiring. So now, like I said, now that the bike is running, I want to get it registered. I'm going to take care of the registration. I've got the old registration here. I'm going to pop online, see if I can do it online. Hopefully I can. Hopefully I won't have to go into the DMV and do this. But anyway, so the registration was originally only $9 on this bike. So, but the tags have been expired since July of 2019. So like I said, I'm going to pop on the internet right now, and I'm going to go ahead and see if I can actually take care of this right now. So I'm going to go ahead and get down to the paperwork, and let's see what we got. All right, guys, so I am in luck. So like I said, the bike's tags have been out since, you know, July of 2019. Just got on the MVD website, and it looks like it's only going to be $33 to get the tags for it. So I have, of course, obviously Arizona, you know, we have the option to go 1 year, 2 year, or 5 years. I'm just going to go ahead and just do 1 year for now, just in case, you know, you never know what happens. So yeah, guys, $33, we're going to get the tags. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and get the tags for it now. Like I said, the bike is now running. Still waiting on parts, but it's only a matter of time till those get here, and I have it all going and all back together. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get the tags going. That way, when those parts get here and I'm all finished, I can literally just start using the bike right away. I still do currently hold insurance on the bike. I have since for years. I've continued to pay the insurance on it, but anyway, so $33, guys, and I can get the tag. Gotta love Arizona and its registration. So anyway, that's gonna be that. I'm gonna go ahead and finish the registration on the bike, and then that's gonna be it for this part. What is going on, guys? Well, as you guys have known, I've been waiting for a few days. I haven't been able to work on the bike. I've been waiting a few days for parts to come in. If you remember, I was waiting on some parts. But anyway, let's step into the workshop real quick, because I've got something to show you. And I'm gonna flip the camera around real quick and show you what we got. Clutch cable has shown up, and the new front brake master cylinder is here for the bike. So today, that's what we're gonna be doing. I've got the bike in the workshop. If you remember when we left off, the bike is currently running. I have actually come out here over the past couple days and just randomly fired it up just to make sure everything's all good. It fires right up, no problem. I've just been waiting on these two parts to show up, and they are finally here. Unfortunately, getting a very late start today. I knew that these parts showed up yesterday. I didn't have a chance to pick them up from my mailbox from the post office, so unfortunately, and then I had a lot of stuff I actually had to take care of this morning, and I just got back and I went to the post office, picked up the parts. So I'm going to get them in the bike, and we'll see how it goes. So unfortunately, I don't know if you guys noticed when I came in, but don't know if I'll get to test ride the bike today. Hopefully I will, but not sure, because, well, let's step outside and look. Because if you guys notice, we definitely have a storm rolling in. Don't know if I'm going to be able to, with the weather, don't know if I'm going to get a chance by the time I'm done with the bike, if I'm going to get a chance to test ride it today. We'll see how it goes. But this is going to take me probably a couple hours to do, so I probably won't get to test ride it today. If not, I'm going to be test riding it first thing in the morning. So anyway, without wasting any more time, let's step back into the workshop and get right down to replacing these parts on the bike and getting it finished. Okay, so one thing I want to do is I want to show you why I'm going to be replacing these parts. Like I said, you guys have known through the course of watching this video and the last video, the bike was in storage for about 3 years. So one thing on it being in storage, I've had a couple people ask me now, well, where did you have it stored? You know, because they've seen that it was a little bit of a mess and it was kind of dirty, and so the bike was not actually in a storage unit. It was not in a garage. It was not in a covered parking or anything. For the past 3 years, this bike was in storage outside in a driveway. So it was covered. There were some times where, given the weather out here and the wind, the cover that I had for it would get destroyed, and I wouldn't be able to get a new one for it for a little while. So that is why it looks, a lot of things are faded. That's why a lot of this stuff was in the condition that it was in. So with that, I'm going to show you why I'm going to be replacing the master cylinder and the clutch cable. Given that this bike, not that many miles on it, was new when I bought it, I shouldn't have to replace these, and I'm sure some people are asking why I've got to replace these, and I'm going to show you now. So I'm going to flip the camera around and I'll explain that now. So here's the front brake master cylinder. Like I said, the front brakes do work, but if you guys notice right here, the little sight glass window on the master cylinder is broken. It rotted out from the sun and being exposed to the elements. So this master cylinder no longer holds brake fluid in it. So that's why this is getting replaced. Otherwise, if it wasn't for this little sight glass window being broken, I wouldn't need to replace this master cylinder at all, but that is broken, and front brakes are definitely something you need. Like I said, they still do work. That's not something I'm even gonna mess around with having go out on me, because that is basically a death wish on a bike. So anyway, we're gonna move on. The clutch cable, if you guys notice, this is why I'll be replacing it. You can pull the clutch in, but if you guys notice, it doesn't retract all the way. It doesn't really have any pull whatsoever. You actually have to push the clutch all the way back. It should retract all the way when you let go. It doesn't. You actually have to push it. So if you move down this way, and if you notice that when I pull the cable, I don't know if you guys can see it very well. Actually, you know what, let me turn the light on. So if you guys notice, when I pull the clutch cable, when I pull the clutch lever, the clutch lever on the case barely moves. It is an indication that the clutch cable has gotten stretched out. I have a feeling I know why this happened. Over the course of it being covered in storage, there was at one point where one of the straps that was holding the cover on actually had pulled the clutch lever in and basically held the clutch lever in the whole time like this. So what I'm gonna guess is, over the course of it, over the past almost 3 years of it being in storage and sitting, with that clutch lever being pulled in like that, just being exposed to the elements, and just the, you know, whatever happened to the cable, it just stretched it out over time. So because when this bike was first put in storage, this clutch cable was working, this clutch worked just fine. So anyway, that's why we're replacing these parts. Wanted to kind of give you guys a rundown of that, of why they're being replaced, just in case anybody asks why you're replacing those, that you shouldn't have to if it's just been sitting in storage. Well, that's why. So anyway, guys, let's get right into it. I'm going to get started on, we're going to do the master cylinder first, because this is going to take me the longest, because I do have to bleed the brakes as well, which if you look on here on the counter, I've already got my bleeder gun and kit ready to go for that. So yeah, let's go ahead and just get right into it. Let's start on this master cylinder right now. All right, guys, so I'm ready to get this old brake master cylinder off. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and just run through and just get this off real quick. This job isn't going to be too bad on this bike. So I'm just going to run through. I've got my tools laid out already, and I'm just going to run through, get this off, and then I'm going to come back and check in with you guys once I have this old one completely off. Alright guys, so one issue I'm running into is that my the bolt for the brake line that goes into the master cylinder, that's pretty seized in there. I've been sitting here trying to wrench on it, and it's just not budging. I'm gonna hit it with some penetrating oil real quick and see if that fixes it. Hopefully I'll be able to get that out, because I kind of need to. Otherwise I'm gonna have to order an entire new brake line, which I really don't want to do. Hopefully I can get this bolt off. Hopefully I'm going to spray it with the penetrating oil right now and let it sit for a few minutes, and then I'm going to get back on removing this master cylinder. I was able to break that bolt loose. It took a minute. I had to kind of pound on it with a wrench. The penetrating oil definitely helped. I ended up getting it off with my electric ratchet. So now that that's off, I can continue on with getting this master cylinder removed. What I have left to do is remove the wires for the brake lights, and this master cylinder will be off. So this should have been a job that only should have taken about 5 minutes to do, but unfortunately that bolt was kind of seized on there, so this took me about 10 minutes. Still not too bad, but it shouldn't have taken that much time. But anyway, old master cylinder's off. We're gonna go ahead and junk that, and we're gonna get the new one on. All right guys, so the new master cylinder is on. Brake line is reinstalled. All that left for me to do is I got to open this up. I got to fill it with fluid. I'm going to bleed the front brake, and then put the mirror back on, and then this is all done, and we can move on over to the clutch cable. So I'm going to go ahead and open this up, finish it up, and bleed the brakes, and we'll go ahead and move on to the clutch cable. All right guys, so I got the master cylinder open. I've got the top pulled off. I got the seal pulled out. I'm just going to be using a .4 brake fluid. What's nice about this bike and this master cylinder is you can either use a .3 or a .4. So it really works out for me because everything else I own uses .4, and so I didn't have to go out and buy any special brake fluid or another can of this stuff. I have a bunch of it already, so that really worked out. So I'm going to go ahead and get this filled up, and then I'm going to move down to get the front brake all bled out, and then we will be moving on to the clutch cable. Alright guys, so for bleeding out this brake, this brake cylinder, kind of in a cramped spot, as you can tell. It's going to be real easy. I'm just going to be using my my brake bleeder pump, and you just connect the end of this line to it and just pump away, and there we go. You get all the air out of the line, and it's have this front brake completely bled out within a couple minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and get on that now. All right, so that's it, guys. We got good brake pressure now. So the brake has been bled out. All I got to do is just get the cover back on the master cylinder, and then the front brake master cylinder is done. We can move on to the clutch cable. So I'm going to go ahead and get the top back on, get the mirror back on it, and then we're going to move on to the clutch cable. All right, guys. So here it is. Brake master cylinder is replaced. Brakes are bled. So it's time to move on to the clutch cable. One thing you want to make sure is that when you're bleeding your brakes, if you notice there's some brake fluid down on the ground, that's going to happen. Make sure you get all brake fluid. I still have to get a little bit off. Make sure you get all the brake fluid off your tire. You definitely do not want brake fluid on your tire when you get out on the road. So always make sure you clean up all the brake fluid. Like I said, you don't want that on your tire. It could cause your front end to slide out from you, and that's very dangerous, and that you can get very hurt. So anyway, front brake is done, master cylinder's in, brake is bled. Let's go ahead and move on to the clutch cable. This is the last step, guys. Clutch cable is the last thing I got to do, and then this bike is ready to be put back on the road. Like I said, I don't think I'll get a chance to test it out today. The storm's moving in pretty good right now. It's probably gonna start raining here any minute, but I've got some. It's gonna take me a little bit of time to replace this cable, so let's get down to it. Guys, it is time to move on to getting this clutch cable replaced. I've got all my tools laid out, ready to go. This is the last part of getting this bike back on the road. Just got to finish this clutch cable, and then we can go out for a test ride. So I'm going to go ahead and just going to start taking it out now. We're going to go ahead and get this clutch cable replaced, and then that's going to be it. So I'm going to get down to replacing this now, and we'll be back here in a little bit. Alright guys, old clutch cable is out, so we're going to go ahead and just toss that, and I'm going to start putting the new one in now. Alright guys, so I can actually tell by the way this went back into the clutch lever that the old cable was actually very stretched out. So this one went back in right as it should. All I have to do is just get it adjusted here at the lever, and then I already have it adjusted down at the transmission. So it's just time to adjust it here at the lever, and then the new clutch lever is in, and this is done. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this adjusted, and we'll be back here in a little bit. Alright guys, so that is it. Clutch cable is in. I'll flip around here in a second so you can actually see that it works properly again. It's all adjusted here at the lever, down at the transmission. That's it. So I'm gonna go ahead and show it to you. So if you guys remember before how the clutch lever wasn't retracting all the way, you had to push it back out. Well, not anymore. Look at that, absolutely perfect. Before it was only coming back about this much, if you remember, and then it had to be pushed out. But yep, it's working perfect. We come down here to the transmission. I don't know, I'll flip the light on again. You guys can see it's pulling it at exactly as it should. So that's it, guys. Everything is done on the bike to get it back on the road. It is registered, it's running, everything is ready to go. So unfortunately we do have a storm coming in, so I'm not going to be able to test ride it tonight. I really want to, but I just want to kind of take it on a good test ride, make sure everything's good. So I'm going to wait till the morning, and I'll pull it out of the workshop and we'll get it on the road. So that's it for tonight, guys. Like I said, we'll get back on this tomorrow and we'll take it out for a test drive. So we'll see you guys in the morning. What is going on, guys? So okay, so I've got the bike pulled out. It is time to finally go and test it out, take it for its first test drive, get it on the road for the first time in almost 3 years. So it is kind of late in the afternoon. I kind of spent the morning, I was going to do it this morning, but I kind of decided to spend the morning going through and just rechecking everything, make sure everything was good, because I don't want to have any issues when I get out on the road. So anyway, if you guys notice, unfortunately, I do have a storm. We have a storm rolling in. We got some thunder that's starting, so I thought about waiting this out until tomorrow or until after the storm, but I really just want to I'm too excited. I want to get out there and make sure everything's good and get the bike on the road. Just take it for a ride. So like I said, with this storm coming in, this is going to be a very short ride. I'm just going to cruise down the hill into town real quick and then come right back. So I'm going to take you guys along for the ride. So with not wasting any more time with this storm rolling in, let's go ahead and let's get out on the road right now. All right guys, so we are back from the test ride. That was a lot of fun. The bike did absolutely great, not a single issue. It's tuned perfectly. You notice I had to get back kind of quick because we kind of got caught in the rain there for a minute. That just shows you how quick the storms move in out here, because when I left, it was still good. There was no rain, no nothing. Actually, the sun was still out just a little bit. And then by the time I got into town, the rain started coming, so I had to turn around and come right back. But I beat the storm back. I only got hit with a little bit of rain, which I don't mind at all. So yeah, bike did absolutely great. So we're gonna go ahead and call this an end, guys. There's nothing left to do. The bike is done, is back on the road. I'm gonna be putting this bike back to use. I'll pretty much be on it almost every day. So I've got some explorations and investigations coming up with where that I will be using the bike. So anyway guys, thank you for sticking around for the videos, for this video and the last video. It was really fun having you guys along for the ride as I get this bike fixed and back on the road. So anyway, got a bunch of stuff coming up. So with this project being done, it's time to move back on to some other things. I got a lot of stuff I got to get going back on with the bus, so that's going to be coming up. Like I said, I've got a few explorations and investigations coming up, so I got to get going on those. But wanted to take a break, a little side project, and get this bike back on the road. Something I'm going to be using. You guys are going to see it coming up in future videos. But anyway, it's time to get back on the bus and other projects as well. So this is done. Anyway, thank you guys for sticking around for the video. Thank you for your continued support. I hope you guys have a great day, and we will see you in the next video.